Hi everyone, I'm meteorologist Gary Woodall, and welcome to this episode of the Mid-South Weather Musings. Well, in today's episode, we are going to take a look back at Sunday. Now that we've got a little break from the severe weather and the storms across the Mid-South, we're going to take a look back at Sunday's severe weather event and talk about why things evolved and changed as quickly as they did during the day. To quote a famous movie, it escalated quickly on Sunday. And if we take a look at the Storm Prediction Center outlooks, you can really see just how fast things change during the day. If you woke up early Sunday morning and looked at the outlook, this is what you would have seen: a marginal risk over northern portions of the Mid-South and up towards the Ohio Valley. With the mid-morning update, a slight risk across northern portions of the Mid-South. And by the late morning update, we were up to an enhanced risk. So we went from a 1 to a 2 to a 3 out of 5 on the Storm Prediction Center's outlook scale in a matter of about 6 hours or so. And then the mid-afternoon outlook expanded the enhanced risk area, cut a little bit off the western edge here. That's because the storms were moving in by this time, but still a little bit further expanded that enhanced area to the south and to the east. So things were really evolving and really changing quickly on Sunday. So what happened? Well, this is a look at one of our maps that we look at. The red contours, the red lines that you see, are instability or fuel for the thunderstorms. How much warm, moist air do we have down low in the atmosphere? And then cold air up above it. So how much fuel, how much buoyant energy is there in the environment? And we see values over 1,000, pushing 2,000 here in north central Arkansas. So that's a lot of fuel. That's a lot of instability. The question mark, though, on this day, you notice all the blue shading in here, the dark blue shading in particular down here in Tennessee and central and northwest Arkansas. Well, this blue shading marks what's called a cap or a lid. It's a stable layer a couple of miles up in the atmosphere that really acts like a lid on the lower portion of the atmosphere. It will actually block the thunderstorms, the updrafts, the upward moving air currents, from being able to form. So if the cap or this lid is strong enough, even if we have instability, if we have the fuel, the lid may block the thunderstorms from forming, and we wouldn't have any severe weather on that day. So that was the big question going into Sunday: was would the storms be able to break through the cap, break through the lid, or not? And we actually started to get our answer mid to late morning Sunday. This is a look from the Springfield, Missouri radar at the complex of thunderstorms off to the east of Springfield. Now, out ahead at the leading edge of this thunderstorm complex, we had a feature called the gust front. And that's the outflow, the leading edge of the strong winds that rush out ahead of the storm. And in this case, this was a very large, very well-organized gust front, and it was basically acting like a snow plow into that warm, moist air as the storms were moving off to the east. And that gust front literally forced that air up, forced the air to start to rise, forced the updrafts to start to form, and actually pushed those developing updrafts, that air, all the way up through the lid where it could actually tap into the instability. And so we were able to continue generating new thunderstorms, new updrafts on the leading edge of this line of thunderstorms. Now, the storms themselves were moving along very quickly. You probably remember that from Sunday. They were moving at 50 to 60 miles an hour. So they were moving almost as fast as the gust front. The outflow was moving out ahead. So the outflow didn't really run out ahead of the thunderstorms and cut off the fuel supply for the thunderstorms. So things were very well balanced as far as this line, this complex of thunderstorms to be able to maintain themselves, and they did just that for a long time. Here we see the results of that complex of thunderstorms. Wind reports, hail reports from south central, southeast Kansas, across southwest Missouri, northeastern Arkansas, southeast Missouri, and the Missouri Boot Heel, into West Tennessee, into Middle Tennessee, northern Alabama, all the way over into East Tennessee by Sunday evening. So this was a very long-lived, very well organized, and very well balanced group of thunderstorms, complex of thunderstorms. And everything was basically lined up just right, or just wrong in our case, in the atmosphere for those storms to be able to break through that lid, break through that cap, maintain themselves as they moved across this long area. So that's going to wrap it up for this episode of the Musings. Again, a look back at just why things changed so quickly during the day on Sunday. If you liked this presentation, if you like this episode, if you like what you see, then keep up with us. If you're watching on YouTube, subscribe to our channel, and that way you'll get notified for future episodes. If you're watching us on Facebook, then be sure and like and follow our page so you can be notified as well. We'll do another episode probably later on in the week looking at the potential for Friday. We may have some thunderstorm or at least rain potential on Friday. Then take a look at the temperature trends for into next weekend. Looks like it could be a return back to early spring for us. Also, make sure that even in these quiet weather times, it's a good time to go through and just make sure all of your severe weather preparedness activities are in place, that your weather radio is working, that you have ways to get warnings for whenever it gets active again, and always good to make sure that your severe weather plan is ready to go. So thank you all so much for watching, and everybody keep safe.